Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I want to talk about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I want to give you my overall thoughts on the game, the good, the bad, what the game is all about. So let's give an overview of the gameplay and the story before we get into the nitty gritty. All the footage you're seeing is straight from Twitch, so follow me on there or go to the secondary YouTube to see my full playthrough. I'm uploading the whole what if stories. But anyway, yep, this is a return to the Tenkaichi series. I think in Japan it was literally just called Sparking, and then I think they changed the name because it just sounds cooler for Western audiences. But for what I understand, the last official entry in the series was in 2012. The last one I played was Budokai Tenkaichi 2, and I played it for the Wii, and I did use the Wii controls. You had your Joy-Con. Not the Joy-Con, what the hell is it called? The Wiimotes and the Wii Nunchuck, and you would pull the Nunchuck back, hold the button, shoot it forward, and you can do a Kamehameha and a lot of other really dumb moves, but it was a fun time. So I definitely was, really high expectations going into this, and I have to say overall, medium, it kind of met it. I expected a little too much, but overall, I think if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, it's fine. Okay, so let's go over what this game actually is, though. So it's all about Dragon Ball universe from, well, they cover pretty much Dragon Ball Z all the way to Super for the campaigns, but the characters and all of the references in the game go all the way from Dragon Ball, the original. Not that many Dragon Ball characters though, but yeah, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Super, and even the upcoming Dragon Ball Daima, which hasn't even released yet as of recording. I think the first episode or two comes out next week or this week. I'm excited to check it out. But yeah, anyway, this is a full-on not platform fighter. It's like an anime arena fighter where it's all fast and crazy. It's over the shoulder, single player, multiplayer, local, play online. So the different modes are, there's a campaign mode where you go through the stories of a certain amount of characters like Goku, Vegeta, Goku Black, Jiren, Piccolo, Frieza, and you go through their sagas and you fight through their canon sort of fights. Like Goku fights, he fights Raditz, and then he moves on to Nappa and Vegeta, and then we head on over to Namek, and we fight the Ginyu Force, and to Frieza, etc., just like that. And then when you start Frieza, the story starts when on Namek, and etc. So you go through the fights, and then you go at it. As you can see from the footage, it plays exactly like it is. It's half button masher when you play with NPCs. There is a lot of tech that we can go into gameplay wise, but let's continue the campaign. So you go through and you fight. Basically, your characters are just pre-made. You go in and you have 2 strong attacks. You have 2 sort of active passive abilities you can use, and then you just knock them out until their HP hits 0. Then that's the end. All of the sort of in-between story moments are very basic. There's not, there's not a lot of in-game cutscenes that you would like. I mean, let's be honest, you've seen the story a million times, so do you really need it? Or is it okay like it is, where it's just tiny little stills every once in a while, characters moving their mouths, and then a narrator goes, and then that's what happens next time on Dragon Ball Z. It'd be nice for it to be a little bit more in depth with the stories, but it's completely serviceable. It's like the bare minimum, but there are a lot of battles. Now, what makes this campaign interesting is the what if scenarios. So throughout the different campaigns for all the characters, in certain events, certain battles, you can actually change the way the story plays out, and then it gives you different results, and it even branches off into different arcs that go on to various lengths. I'll give you one example of a very early one that's pretty cool. So during the first battle with Raditz, the canon event is you're supposed to fight with Piccolo. However, the first choice they give you is, do you want to team up with Piccolo, or do you want to fight with Krillin instead? So you can change it and fight with Krillin. Now, if you do that, the next battle will be Raditz, Goku, and Krillin going at it. And then you can actually win the battle. If you do, Goku does not die during this event like he's supposed to, and then Raditz is like, oh, Nappa and Vegeta are coming in a year or two, what are you gonna do? In the original story, Goku is dead, and he goes trains with King Kai, but now that he stays here, because everything changed, you now go through many other battles where Goku is training with everyone here, never trained with King Kai, and then it just plays out a little differently. Since he's there from the beginning, Yamcha doesn't get blown up, Tien and Chaozu don't die, etc. So there's like, it branches off of there, and then you get to see it play out a little bit. And the quality of the what ifs is exactly the same as the quality of cutscenes and animations of the regular duels, the regular campaign events, which makes sense. You know, like that'd be really weird if, you know, the what ifs were just really quick tiny animations while the regular ones were really better. So it makes sense that they did it that way now. Now that I think about it, it's all the same quality overall, but that is the overall draw of the main sort of campaign mode. You get to see different scenarios, and it's fun because the voice acting is there, and it's just really interesting to watch Tien fight a gigantic Vegeta, you know, giant ape form. So that is the single player mode. Yep, that's it. There really isn't much there after that. No, that's it. Okay, so you have a local mode where you can do battles against different sort of AIs. There's a training mode, a really extensive, yeah, that's the word, extensive training mode where you go through every single mechanic. But because this game came out this series last came out 12 years ago, it still kept a lot of the same mechanics. You know, you have the same countering, you have the same overall game plan where you attack, you charge up, you use abilities, you knock people down, you use combos, you have a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors aspect in terms of like key blast, attacking, and guarding. And yeah, this game did add a little bit more, but if you are a veteran of the series and you played a million of those games, a million hours, you're gonna fit right in. You just gotta learn the extra mechanics, but you know, the tutorial is there. Another single player thing I will talk about is the custom battles that they've added to the game. The custom battles, you can make it yourself, you can download some online preloaded, and then you can just have fun and play it. It's a system where you can create sort of battles. You can like, for example, you can have Goku fight Vegeta, and then you can have it play out with different sorts of dialogue, and then when certain conditions are met during that battle, different cutscenes will happen, and it will force like weird cool key events to happen. So there's a lot of things you can do there, and that is just one of the highlights of the thing. Okay, so let's talk about the online after that. There is 2 different sorts of modes you can play online. That is ranked and unranked, and that's single mode and DP mode. Single mode is exactly what it sounds. You choose one of your characters, and at the moment of release, there's like 140 plus characters with like, I don't know, 20 to 30 more coming over the DLCs. And because I got like the deluxe edition, I got the I guess the season pass, so I'm gonna get more characters. But yeah, the single mode is you go online, you get one character, you fight to the death. That's it. Choose a stage and you go on. You get ranks. You start from D5, you go all the way to D1 and then S rank, and a lot of people are getting pretty up there. And then the next one is DP, which is Dragon Points. Because a lot of characters are weaker than others, like, oh man, Ultra Instinct Goku is definitely stronger than Teen Gohan. So every character in the game has assigned a Dragon Point ranking. I think UI Goku was like 10 or something. Krillin is a 3 or 4. Master Roshi is a 2. So basically, you have 15 Dragon Points to allot to your team, and you have to put together like a team of 2 to 5 characters, and then you fight. And then once a character dies, another one swaps in, or you can swap in pretty inside. But that's the game. Other than that, there's like other tiny things like a museum, which I think the museum's actually cool because there's like a million characters in the game, but every time you go to one, you highlight them. You can get a little bit of a summary encyclopedia of what they're about with dialogue. Like I think Bulma, Chi-Chi, and Videl talk about them. It's pretty cool having them like just talk about stuff, so you can go through all of them. That's cool. There's a shop in the game. Everything you do gives you Zenny, and in the shop you can get costumes. You can unlock new characters because not all the characters are unlocked from the beginning, and then you can get more. You can get capsules. Now, these capsules are from the older games, and they're here now, and you can use them to equip 2 characters to give them like stats, passive abilities, and etc. And that's pretty much it. If you've played the other Tenkaichis, it's exactly what it is. Now let's talk about the good and bad, and overall if I recommend it. Okay, so are you a Dragon Ball Tenkaichi fan, like a huge one? you can buy this and you're going to be pretty satisfied. Have you ever played another Dragon Ball game before, but never this one, but you love Dragon Ball? Yeah, I think you can play this as well, but you're going to have to get used to the gameplay. Personally, for me, I did not have a lot of fun playing online with other players as I did just playing the single player, but there is problems with both. And I guess we'll talk about the problems with the single player first. It's fine. The what if scenarios are the best selling point about this, but I don't know. I feel like the overall like moment to battle just doesn't feel that smooth. Meaning you just go into a battle after a cutscene and then you just fight. You fight, cutscene, fight, cutscene, fight, cutscene. There's no reason for you to ever equip your capsules, which customize your characters. And honestly, going through the game never even tells you that you can customize your characters during battles. A lot of the battles are easy. To unlock some what ifs, you have to go through some pretty crazy battles. The AI is completely tuned up and you cannot reduce the difficulty, but that's fine. You're able to get through it if you just cheese. But a lot of people are really hating on some of the early ones. Like, oh man, I have to fight the Ginyu Force all with Goku. I mean, I had to fight that a couple times, but seriously, it's not that bad if you can cheese it. But then there's a lot of battles where you can just have fun and practice your moves. But like, yeah, there's a lot of input reading from the computer. It's a little like bullshit. But yeah, one thing I miss from the single player stuff that you can do in the game is in the older Tenkaichi games, you had like a sort of tower challenge mode where there's a lot of different events that you go to, and then it gives you a summary of the battle before you go into it. Like, oh yeah, this one you're gonna fight Berta and Jace because, and like they have like extra damage or like, we know stuff like that, like event battles, kind of like Super Smash Bros. Melee, where you have like the 51 events or whatever, and you fight through those. This game doesn't have that. It's literally just the single player and that's it. And yeah, the single player is lengthy, but other than that, it's just a what if. So I'm a little let down with the single player stuff. There's no reason to get capsules and use them, and the game doesn't tell you. So for the online, after playing a decent amount of ranked, single ranked, and DP ranked, I don't think I'm going to play PvP. I think I'm only going to play this game for the campaign and then wait for the DLC stuff to come out, and then that's pretty much it. First of all, the game doesn't have rollback netcode. It's going to be really hard to do with this game if they ever add it, because it's not a traditional 2D fighter. There's a million variables that they can do, so it's hard for them to code that in, so it's not going to work well. For the most part though, I would say 80% of the matches were fine, but there is a lot of stuttering where it is noticeable. And yeah, this game is like fast paced. You have to counter at a moment's notice, read your opponents, and with a little bit of delay, a little bit of lag, it just really takes you out of it. And yeah, you can just mash your way to victory, you can get through it, but overall it's just not a crazy fun experience. And me going into this game competitively, I was thinking like, okay, it's gonna be like Street Fighter, I'm gonna have a fun time going on ranked and stuff. But I think the battle system is more suited to just a party game, just having fun with friends and just messing around with the AI, messing with all these 140 characters. You play online, not every character is made the same. You know, you're gonna have a million people using Gogeta, Vegito, Ultra Instinct Goku, Broly, and then you just can't have fun unless you're gonna be at a really big deficit. You can't just mess around because the internet's not great or the connection's not great, and then you can't just use a team of Hercule and Videl and just go crazy. You can. If you are amazing at the game, you're always gonna win, because this game is rock paper scissors heavy. If they mash, use perception. If they use perception, sidestep attack. If they do all that, grab them. There's a lot of things to do. But if they get one string off of you, it's like they do 5 hits and then it does like 100 damage. You do 500 hits and it takes like 5. It just takes more effort. It's not impossible, but it's just annoying. So everyone's gonna be sweating with different characters. It's really hard to do. And yeah, but yeah, overall the multiplayer is bleh. Just go in thinking it's just a fun competitive arena fighter, and if you want like a really hardcore game, I guess wait for City of the Wolves, Street Fighter, play some Mortal Kombat, etc., the traditional stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I was hoping I'd be able to play the online competitive, but it's just not fun. It's just not fun. So that's it for the game. Overall, it's a good game for the Tenkaichi series. It's just lacking in a little bit of the extra single player content that I liked in previous games. There's a shit ton of mechanics, attack and defend. There's a lot. Like, you have to go in training mode if you want to learn and get good. You have to go there. It's just the training mode is also very sluggish and slow, hard to use. The game's kind of new, so I couldn't really find any good YouTube videos, and isn't like some basic clickbait stuff like, oh, you're doing this wrong, make sure to 10 tips you should know. It's just like, no, you gotta wait like a week or two before you can get some really good stuff, because there's like a lot of things you just don't know, like, oh, how do I defend against this, what's my options, because the game moves at lightning fast speed. You don't know what you can do at what time, but all of that's gonna take time to practice. And you know, this is not a super highly crazy competitive game, so I'm not gonna take the time to learn that. I'm just gonna play with the NPCs and maybe friends. So yeah, get the game if you're a DBZ fan. You know, support the series. It could be better, but overall, I think a lot of people are really gonna be happy with this game overall. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.